I didn't know they would be, we're 24 years in now here,
Yeah.
which I would have never have dreamed that far. It was the strongest time where I had this massive, like, I'm done. I want to quit. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And that was in 2007. It's just like, God, what is going on? Like, everything's going wrong, like, literally. So what do I do? I felt like God just kind of gave to me this, like, I've not called you to understand, but I've called you to trust. Having that decision made in your heart. Like, I'm not going to quit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a quitter. I want to, like, finish strong and finish well.
Hey, welcome to the Live Full podcast, where we talk about all things faith, family, and living fully the life God wants for you. On today's episode, we'll be talking about staying the course and showing up well in our call, in our destinies, in the plans that God has for our lives. And today, my guest is returning for the second time. I'm so excited to have her again. And she's none other than my pastor, Charissa.
Hey, it's good to be back.
Yes,
And just hang with you. That's all.
exactly. And well, actually, you are opening my 4th season.
Oh, wow. Look at that. What happened? There's
I
so many seasons
know,
already.
I know. So I've managed to, I guess, record 30 episodes so
That's
far.
amazing.
Because every episode is 10. Every
Good job.
season is 10.
I don't know how you do it all these weeks.
I don't know how I do it either. You are right. It's been kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Just trying to obey and figure out how to like finish this thing every single time.
For sure.
Yeah. And so today's episode, actually, we want to talk a bit about that, right? Because I think the last time we shared a bit about your story, just even your journey as a mom and all that. But today I thought we might delve a little bit more into your ministry life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You know, and we've known each other for so long. I actually just at this last youth conference, you know, we were talking about, I was sharing with them, this youth conference, this youth ministry, this is my ministry. I've been here.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
for so many years.
Yeah.
So it was like coming full circle, you know, being able to like speak to them and all that.
Totally.
But it's been, I don't know what. I mean, we've probably met since I was, I don't know, 14, 15.
Probably. Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, without revealing my age too much, it's about 20 years. A little bit more than that.
Gladys. Who cares?
But it's great. I think it's evolved so much. I've learned so much from you. We've had so many conversations. Life, ministry. So I thought you would, you know, share a little bit about that too, because I know your own personal journey. You know, it's ups and downs. You know, and I think for many people who look at you and say, hey, you know, you've been here for so long. What's that like been for you? And maybe share a bit about that. I've always wondered, actually, did you imagine your life to be like this?
Well, yes and no. I think as a little kid, I was probably like, I'm trying to think, maybe, I don't know, anywhere between 6 to 8, maybe. I had this kind of desire to be a missionary. There's a few of my friends, there was like 3 of us, and we all kind of had that interest and that desire. But then I was young, obviously. So it wasn't like I was like actively pursuing it at that point. It was just kind of something that was there. But went on I lived in Hong Kong for 2 years. I don't know if I said that last time, but but we did, my family and I. And so then when I came back to the US, I was so happy to be back. And I was 10 when we came back. And I was just so happy that I was just like, I just love America. I'm never leaving ever. I'm just gonna stay here forever. And so that was kind of my thought process, but I didn't really dwell on it too much. It was just, you know, I was busy in school and doing all the things. And then high school, I went on a missions trip to Mexico. And then in college, I went on a missions trip to Ecuador. And that's where God just really brought missions back to my heart and into, it was a deep desire of mine. Ministry wise, it was there the whole time. My dad was a pastor. My parents were always in ministry in some capacity. So I had that from them, but they weren't like, it wasn't pressurizing, like you need to become a pastor or be in ministry or whatever. But we were always at church as a family. We loved it. And so I grew up in that space. And then as a youth, I was always volunteering of my time to just go and help in whatever way I could. I just loved it. It was just
Yeah.
like, why would I want to be at home doing like, I don't even know what? Give me, like, get me down to the church office and let me do anything.
Wow.
So I would paint, I would make posters, I would just anything. It didn't matter. I was happy to do that. And I think what I didn't realize at that point was God was doing something in my heart
Yeah.
just to give me this desire to like give of my time and my energy and everything that I loved into the church and what
Yeah.
God was doing there and into people, obviously. And so that's kind of where it began. But then the missions part of it came as because of those two mission trips. And so then Jeremy came along and all of this. And so I didn't want to come to Asia.
Yeah.
We'd already been in Hong Kong and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But God again did a work in my heart. And basically it was like I knew that we were to get married, and so we came together. Um, but when we came, because of the nature of our church, we send a lot of church planters to go out and plant churches all over the world, right? And so we just figured in our own natural mind, we're going to be sent out. We're going to plant a church, who knows where,
Yeah.
and we'll do that. We'll be in Singapore 3, 4, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And so 3, 4, 5 years went by, and it was like, oh, we're still here. Left. But so I think there was a lot of from that point of when we moved here through that, and it was kind of I always loved Singapore. Singapore was not a problem. It's just that there was a longing in my heart to also be back
Yep.
in the US with my family. Because that was always the hardest part. People ask me, what type of culture shock did you have? I'm like, I don't feel like I had culture shock. Even Jeremy was like, no, she didn't have culture shock. But it was just the being away from close friends and family was the hard part for me. But so because of that, there were ups and downs. It wasn't for me, it wasn't so much ministry that was the hard part. It was what God had called us to specifically. Ministry in general, I'm very happy, but it was like, why does it have to be here?
Yeah.
Like that was the hard part. And so that took a lot of just on my own coming to the Lord and like, God, you see where I'm at. You know my desires. But yeah, I know you have called us here for this time. I didn't know that it would be, we're 24 years in now here,
Yeah.
which I would have never have dreamed that part. So getting back to your question,
Yeah.
that part, no.
Yeah.
But here we are. And it's been very, very good.
Yeah.
I can get into more of the stuff, but anyway.
Yeah, no, but I know many people who are listening,
Yeah.
they also want to, be in ministry. They want to
Yeah.
do so much for God.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are challenges. I think,
Yeah.
one of them for you was just being away from
For
family.
sure.
For many others, it could just be, I don't know, distractions. It
Yeah.
could be other things in their lives that get in the
Yeah.
way of like being in ministry. Can you think of like a specific time where it
Mhm.
was so hard?
Yeah.
You felt like, I'm done, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
But what helped you to kind of like overcome that?
Yeah. I can think I immediately when you said I know exactly what to say because it was monumental.
Yeah.
It was the strongest time where
Yeah.
I had this massive like I'm done. I want to quit. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And that was in 2007. There was a lot of things that quote unquote went wrong. So one back then we were on like employment pass and our pass like we had applied but it had lapsed. So it was coming to where it was going to expire. And so we were like, God, what in the world is going on? Is this it?
Yeah.
Is it gone? Is it over?
Yeah.
Like, what is the thing? And so, but there was no answer to that. We were just kind of like, I don't know. And so that was one thing that took place. And then our flat that we were staying in at the time, we were renting, and the owners had been out of Singapore for probably 15 years at that point. And they all of a sudden decided they were going to come back and they needed their flat back. And it was like, what? Like we were going to be here for like as long as we
Yeah.
needed to, you know? And so then we were getting quote unquote kicked out of Singapore. Maybe
Yeah.
we got kicked out of our flat, and then my best friend at that time had moved away to another
Mm,
country, so that felt like I was like I got nothing again.
yeah.
And then towards the end of the year, I had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult. It was between Caleb and Megan. And it was just like, God, what is going on? Like everything's going wrong, like
Mm,
literally. So
mm,
what do I do? I don't know. And so by the end, September is when I had the miscarriage. And so it felt just like, I just don't even know.
yeah.
I don't know. But it was that miscarriage actually that brought so much stability into my heart as far as just staying the course.
Yeah.
And I remember before we found out that we had lost the baby, um, there was just a verse that God gave to Jeremy just about how in the like basically in the peaceful times and in the crazy times, we're just going to praise the Lord and we're just
Wow.
going to serve him no matter what.
Yeah.
And that was the gist of it. And so when I can still picture us at the hospital. I was in the hospital bed and both of us just praying like, okay, this is our stance.
Yeah.
That whether this baby lives or dies, we are going to still praise the Lord and God's still good.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I may never understand it, but that's okay. And I think it was probably around there that I felt like God just kind of gave to me this like I've not called you to understand, but I've called
Mm,
you to trust.
yep.
And so, and if you look in the word, it's all about trusting him.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that we have to understand everything that he does.
Yeah.
We probably won't because we're
Mm,
human, we won't get it.
yeah.
But and so that following day we found out that the baby was gone. And and of course it was sad. We were very sad about it.
Mm,
But there was a strength that we had inside that was like, okay, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to praise the Lord. We're
yeah.
still going to believe God is good and he still has good plans for us, even though I don't get this.
Yeah.
But it was that really like with everything throughout the year, and we obviously didn't get kicked out of Singapore. We were here.
Mm-hmm.
God did provide a new flat for us, like all those different things. Like he brought solutions to those, but it was what really was in my heart, just deciding.
Yeah.
It all comes up to that decision, and that was
Yeah.
the bottom line.
Yeah, and many times in ministry, you think I'm serving God, I'm doing all these great things for God.
Totally.
Like things should go well.
Exactly. I
Right?
know. I remember that question with the miscarriage especially. I was like,
Yeah.
I am out here serving you in a
Yes.
country I don't even want to be in all the time. And why does this happen to me?
Yeah.
Why me?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I do know that that taught me a lot. And so because of that, I am thankful for that situation. And I will meet that baby one day
Yeah.
and it will be wonderful. But you know what? I am at peace and I'm not like overly sad and like whatever, even in the weeks and days and weeks after that. It was this, I told Jeremy, I was like, I feel weird that I'm okay. But it was because God had just
Yes.
done a work in my heart. And I think
Yeah.
that that's the main thing is that oftentimes we can just get so in ourselves and in our thoughts and in our emotions and just like dwell there.
Yeah.
And it's not bad to think and to feel, but to just dwell in those places, usually when it's not the best, it's not great.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get anywhere from there.
Yeah.
And so to allow God to actually bring healing
Yeah.
and to bring a different perspective and to bring change and all of that, it's life changing,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. One of my favorite things about you, I think, is just the fact that you're so real about everything.
mm,
You're so vulnerable about everything. And
yeah.
that's really helped me too, I
Mm,
think, in my own journey. Because sometimes we look at pastors and we think they can't be going through anything very hard. Like they must be doing I don't know,
yeah.
like their life looks great,
Yeah.
like everything
Yeah.
is going well.
Yeah.
But to also realize, oh, actually, no, they go through stuff too,
Yeah.
they also have to
Yeah.
go through things like that. What are some things that maybe have helped you to remain faithful? I
Mm,
mean, besides like saying, hey God, like I hang on to your word. Like
yeah.
when you speak, I'm gonna respond in the way that you've spoken to me.
Right.
But what are some things that maybe have helped you personally, like
Mm,
in staying faithful, remaining and saying,
yeah.
hey God, even when it's so hard,
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm gonna remain. I'm gonna
Right.
stay.
I think a couple things. One is just having that decision made in your heart. Like, I'm not going to quit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a quitter. I'm a competitive person.
Yeah.
I can be. Now, I don't play sports. It's probably, maybe it's good that I don't. Like,
Yeah.
but
Or
but I
Monopoly or
yeah, exactly. Games, whatever. I can be very competitive,
yeah.
but I think so I'm not going to be a quitter, but it's not just cuz I'm competitive. Like, I just, why would you want to live your life and quit
Yeah.
on stuff? Like, that just seems stupid to
Yeah.
me. Like, I'm like, no. I want to like finish strong and finish
Yeah.
well. And so that's part of it, is that decision. And I think that that just has to be made. And there's things that, it's not that the decision is easy, but you just make a decision.
Yeah.
It's the same as any decision you make.
Mm,
That, okay, I'm going to go make dinner right now. It
yeah.
doesn't sound very fun, but hey, we're hungry. We need to eat. I
Yes.
have to make dinner,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, you could grab, but even that, you have to make a decision to place the order. You have
Yeah.
to decide, right? So in anything, you have to decide. And some decisions are harder than others,
Yeah.
obviously, but it comes down to a decision. And the details of that follow, and you just have to, okay, but this is my decision. And so that's where, like, that's why I'm saying, like, for ministry, that's my decision. That's
Yeah.
what I want to do. And I'm called because God put that in me. And I'm not gonna, no matter, things will change. Like, we were youth pastors. I would never have imagined we would be senior pastors.
Mm.
Um, and we didn't necessarily desire that, but it was something that God brought us into, and all of that. And as we get older and as different things change and whatever, I don't know exactly what's ahead. I didn't know what was coming. I don't know
Yeah.
what's ahead, right?
Yeah.
But I will always be in ministry in some capacity, because that's what God's called me to.
Mm.
So that's my decision. So I could be 85 years old and I'm still going to be talking with people.
True.
Gladys, come on, let's do this.
Exactly.
Like, let's
Yeah.
keep going
Yeah.
and not just give up, like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, these guys can do it and whatever. Things change, obviously. I mean, I didn't have a title for ages in the church, but it didn't matter, because the title is not what it means to be called and to keep
Yeah.
on
Good.
going in your
Yeah.
call. That's completely different. So it I just served for many, many years without any title, just because that's what God had put in my heart. And
Yeah.
so that's one thing, is making this a decision. But I think then secondly is continually coming back and asking God to do something in my heart, to bring a change and a shift in me, because it is hard to keep going when it's hard.
Yeah.
Now, and in anything, and it's whether it's in ministry or in just life, sometimes life just throws curveballs and you just don't know what to do, and it has
Mhm.
nothing to do with ministry per se. It's just life.
Yeah.
Life happens, right?
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yes.
It happens. um and so to constantly, like, keep coming back to God, I know you've said this and you've said this, but I don't, it's hard right now, and I need you to shift me. I remember, like, with Caleb when he went into the army. He's almost done. He's got like a
Yeah.
month left, which is crazy to me. But when he first went in, I was bawling and bawling. It was terrible for like a couple days. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
very bad. And so I remember I was like, I know exactly what I need to do. I can't just sit in this stuff, but God, I need you to do something. So I went out in the entry area of my house, and I called out to him. I was like, God, I just need you to settle my heart.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can cry in 2 seconds. It doesn't even take any, don't even count. I'm
Yes.
there. I
Right.
got this. Like, it's not that. It's like, but I can't live like that. What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? And so I was just like, God, I need you to actually settle my heart.
Yeah.
I can't do it on my own. I can
Yeah.
make a decision and I can try to figure it out, but God, I need you to actually settle me.
Yeah.
Settle my emotions, settle my thoughts, settle all of that. And he did. He
Yeah.
did. And it wasn't that I wasn't sad anymore, or I wasn't had no more tears. I mean, I did cry a lot, but I still had some.
Mhm.
But there was a settledness. There was a peace in my heart. There was
Yeah.
a perspective that he brought. And so I think that that's the thing in any kind of difficulty, is
Yeah.
just don't try to solve it on your own. You
Mm.
can't solve it on your own. I
Yeah.
can't settle my heart.
Yeah.
I just can't. we can try to talk ourselves into all kinds of stuff. And some things are small and we can get over it, whatever. But some big stuff, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so we've got to have God to just come and do that work in us
Yeah.
and to allow him. I think that's the thing too, because oftentimes we want to feel all the stuff, even though we don't
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it, but we kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
It's this weird thing,
Yeah.
but to allow God, actually, God, you can bring a peace
Yeah.
inside of me
Yeah.
and we can move on
Yeah.
and we can think about this and talk through this and still be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So, yeah, I think that's probably my couple things that I would
yeah,
do.
no, that's a powerful thought. Maybe give us a sneak peek. What
Mm,
what is your daily like rhythm like,
mm,
Because I believe that you don't become like that
sure.
in a moment,
Yeah.
I mean, you go through stuff and
Yeah.
you've experienced things and you've gone through things in
Yeah.
life, but there must be some kind of like foundation,
Mm,
right? What are some things that you do consistently
yeah.
that maybe have helped you in this process to have that kind of perspective,
Sure.
respond in a way that is so different, from
Yeah.
most people? What helps you? What helps, or what are you doing consistently that gives you that kind of
Mm,
strength?
yeah. I think for sure, I mean, getting into the word
Yeah.
is 100% helpful, and as well as prayer. And I think for me, like that is the constant thing because you can pray any time of the day, in any
Yeah.
moment, anywhere. You can be on the bus or you can be doing your makeup, and you can do anything.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You can be praying, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what, or in the middle of a meeting and like, oh Jesus, I need you. I don't know what to do in this, or
Yeah.
or in a conversation or a counseling thing or whatever. And I think that, I mean, for sure reading the Bible, but that alone right there, just praying and not in a, dear Jesus, hallowed be thy, I mean, it's not like that, but
Yeah.
like a actual, like, God, I need you right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea what to do. Or like, oh my word, Lord, I'm so like, oh, you know, like that. And to see how he can direct our thoughts to bring the right kind of response or the right kind of perspective. We were talking to someone yesterday and I was not in that, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, but we were like, I just remember thinking like, wow, this is interesting because there are some very different people out there, but God still uses every single
He does.
person however he wants to use them and in their own way
Yeah.
also, which is such a cool thing,
Yeah.
and so even in that moment, in that conversation, I just began to like, God, I'm just so appreciative that actually, even though not everyone is like me and not everyone I automatically click with like
Yeah.
that, but it doesn't matter because God, you still have an amazing thing for them to do
Yes.
in their sphere of influence where they're at, and not for me to like look down on anyone else because God loves all of us the same.
Yeah.
And and so even in that, he just brought a perspective
Yeah.
to me that was just like, yeah, there's a place for everyone. There's a place for everyone to minister and to help people and
Yes.
to just, there's things that God puts on someone else's heart that he doesn't put on mine
Yeah.
because they're the ones that are fit for that,
Yeah.
And so just even things like that, but I think that constant like dedication to just like, God, I'm going to come after you no matter what.
Yeah.
And there's different times that things get busy and everything, and I love to just sit in my entry area with all my plants and just like have worship music on and just read my Bible and just be out there for like an hour or
Yes.
something. I love it. That's my favorite. But I don't always have time for that all the time without the kids bothering me or without a meeting I have to go to or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
so but there's that longing, and so to listen to those longings, I think, and
Mm,
to act on them, that actually those are the things that are going to help us to get to that next place and
yeah.
not just to just like just very static, mundane, like life. I want
Yeah.
God to speak into me,
Yeah.
and when I hear other people, like when there's something God speaks to them. I mean, just yesterday in the message that Jeremy was preaching, he talked about how there was different things that God spoke to him that morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's so good. So I want to make sure that my ears are always
Always. Yeah.
open to hear whatever you want to say.
Mm,
I don't want to be so busy that I miss it.
yeah.
I don't want to miss it. That's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing, is keeping a soft heart,
Yeah.
just open, just like, God, you're my priority
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Yeah.
So, and it sometimes it can be a long time that you have to just be you and him in his presence. Sometimes it's not even a long time, but
Yeah.
that calling out and that like, God, I want relationship with you. Would you
Yeah.
speak into my heart and life
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even doing this in the long term, in the long
Mm-hmm.
run, can be very challenging
Sure.
sometimes, but you make it look so good and you make it look so fun. And I think it is important to
Yeah,
take care of ourselves too. You
for
know,
sure.
I think in the process of this, you don't want to, be a haggard, sad, grumpy,
Totally.
person at the end of it,
Frumpy.
right? Frumpy.
Frumpy. That's the word. I hate it.
And I know you do some things for fun. So
Yes.
like you love your plants,
Yes,
right? That's
I do.
one.
I
You
do.
do sourdough.
Yes.
So I picked that
Yes.
up too from you. But then one thing I will never forget, and we're just talking about this, right?
Yeah.
I think this was maybe early on in
Mm.
my own like marriage journey, maybe even my dating. I can't remember, but this is early on, many years ago.
Yeah.
You used to tell me, yeah, I put makeup on at home
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because I want to look good. I
Yeah.
want to feel good.
Yeah.
And I always thought, and I still remember this
Mm.
today, because I think about that and I think, yeah, why not? Like, I want to do that for myself too. And
Yeah.
I think to some extent, doing this in the long run or long term,
Right.
there's some level of like self care. And I
Sure.
want to be careful in using this term because,
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, in our day and age,
It can
this,
get out.
yeah,
Way out.
yeah, people can, misconstrue this
Yeah.
idea, but maybe speak to that a little bit,
Sure.
like what does that mean for you? Like taking care of
Mm.
yourself, appearing well,
Yeah.
presenting yourself, showing up well, even
Yeah.
for yourself, not
Yeah.
to show off to somebody else,
Sure.
but just for yourself, so that
Yeah.
hey, let's run this race, but
Yeah.
let's run it well,
Yeah.
healthy, strong, in a way that works for you.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think in the beginning, I didn't really think about it that much. Like
Yeah.
in the US, you can wear makeup in school.
Yeah.
So I know here in Singapore,
Yes.
in a government school, you can't.
No.
So I get that. It's not like that in the US. So there's some that wear and some that don't. But
Yeah.
I was always very like excited. Like my mom never wore anything. So it wasn't from her. I don't know where it came from. Honestly, I don't remember like looking at someone and being like, "Oh, I want to put makeup on like them."
Yes.
I it just was something, I don't know. Maybe it's because I love art and I like to see, I've always told people I like to see a good before and after
Yeah.
in whatever way it is. Whether it's a face
Yes.
or whether it's a
A
painted wall
home. Yeah.
or if it's in
Yeah.
a life that's been transformed
Yeah.
or anything.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's a bit of that. I don't know. But I remember like when I was little, well, not little, but probably early, maybe tween teen. Like, and I got a lip gloss and I was like, oh, this is so fun. I feel fabulous right now. I'll
That's so
put that on.
awesome.
And it was like not even any color, probably. It was probably like tiny bit of light pink or, just something, but it was shiny.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I felt
Well,
amazing.
my girls are like that too now.
Right?
So
Exactly. I
they
know.
will go into like a pharmacy and
Yes.
then they have makeup
And
just
try
available
everything.
and they will just try it.
Yes.
Be like, stop.
You don't know where that came
Yes,
from.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know exactly where it started, but I did wear makeup I have for a long time, but I know some people just kind of do just for a meeting or when they have a photo shoot or
Yeah.
something like that. But to me, it had become just kind of the way that I was.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I was very self-conscious about some stuff too. And so it helped me to have more confidence.
Yeah.
So that was one thing back then. I don't have the same issue like that than I used to,
Yep.
but but I do find that whenever whenever you actually are talking to somebody, it's it's much easier to hear their perspective and their counsel when they kind of look put together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you
Like more credibility.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like, wait, you're telling me all this, but you look a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've always kind of that has kind of always been there also. And so it's kind of a bit of that. I again, like I said, I don't know exactly where it came from, but I do feel like actually I like it when I have my makeup on. I feel like I can actually accomplish more
Yeah.
because I'm confident in myself.
Yeah.
And so it's weird. Like I could go out to the grocery store without makeup, but if
Yeah.
I meet someone that I know, I'm going to be less confident.
Oh, tell me
You
about
know,
it.
right?
School
You're like,
pickups.
goodness, what was I thinking? I
Yes.
should have worn a hat. I
Yeah,
should have
yeah, yeah.
put sunglasses on. Like,
Yes.
and it's like, but if you're presentable and ready, like you can be ready for anything. Because
True.
honestly, there's a lot of stuff that's caught me by surprise. And sometimes I'm very thankful that, well, okay, well, it's good
Yeah.
that I didn't come out in some like holy
Yes.
t-shirt
Yeah, yeah.
and like had no idea what was going
Yeah.
on. So I think that's part of it. And just like I don't have to buy the most expensive makeup. I actually try to find dupes of stuff so
Yeah.
that get cheaper
Yeah.
things, whatever. Clothing wise, I try to like refresh things.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, if you look now to like 10 years ago, my style has changed. Why? Because yes, trends have changed, but I I don't go by all of that stuff, but I do want to stay kind of,
Relevant.
yeah,
Yeah.
relevant and like not look like 10 years ago.
Yep.
I don't wear
I
skinny
mean, you
jeans
would
anymore.
never believe how
I
old
just
you are. Yeah.
I'm
And
46, I'll tell you. Gladys doesn't want to reveal her age, but I won't
yes,
reveal
yes.
mine. I'm 46.
Yeah. Like
um,
you do not look 46 for sure.
so anyway, it's some of those types of things.
Yeah.
Jewelry, I love jewelry.
Yeah.
When I first came to Singapore, I would wear these tiny little hoops. I had one hole in my ear, and I just these tiny little ones. You couldn't even barely see them. It's so funny because now I'm like, okay, that will go in my third hole.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
But it's just like having something. It just makes me feel good,
Yeah.
and it's just I enjoy it. So
Yeah.
it's fun for me. But then I've also found that actually other people like it and enjoy it, and I want to be a good example to people
Yeah.
in any way. My kids also.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think that, like, oh, when you're 46 then you
Yes.
just look like terrible.
Yeah.
Like I got to take care of myself cuz
Yeah.
I still matter.
Yeah.
We all matter, and so I've got to have that kind of, if I think that but I don't do anything about it, then it's a bit weird.
Yeah. And I think this is a reflection of what you see your worth as too,
Totally. Totally.
you it and it's I feel like the order needs to be clear also.
Yeah.
Sometimes people focus too much,
Yeah.
right, on how they look on the
Yeah.
outside, but I think not really working on what's inside of
Sure.
them, right? And
Yeah.
not very conscious about maybe even how insecure they might be.
Yeah.
But actually, if you're confident about who you
Yeah.
are and you want your, exterior to
Yeah.
almost like reflect that,
Right.
it's quite different.
Totally.
And now it
Yeah.
becomes, oh, it's inspiring. Actually, it's
Yeah.
something I want to be like,
Yeah.
versus, oh, you only look good on the outside.
Sure.
And I think it's almost like it's quite real and nice to see like my
Mm.
pastor do that almost,
Mm.
And what is your take on people who maybe prioritize that to them? Actually, that's important.
Yeah.
Because I know for some this is kind of a touchy thing, right?
Yeah.
For some it's like, oh, why? Why do you,
Right.
why does this matter to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think there's a healthy way
Yeah.
to approach it. There's
Yeah.
a healthy like a perspective that you can have.
Yeah.
And like what's your take on that?
Yeah. I think, like, first of all, the heart is the most important,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. But and even in terms of that, how our inner self is,
Yeah.
it actually is reflected outside, just in our bodies without putting anything on or
Yeah.
anything. I'm not talking about that. But when you have bitterness and unforgiveness in your heart, it actually shows in your physical body. Not just, it can on the outside,
True.
but there are health issues that happen because of that.
Yeah.
And so I really believe that also when there is peace and when there's joy and when there's forgiveness and when there is just this openness to what God wants to do in your heart, it actually reflects in your life.
Yeah, so good.
Just in putting things on your face.
Yeah.
Or putting a necklace on or whatever. It's more than that. And so the heart is the first thing that matters.
Yeah.
For sure. And I just like to help to accentuate things. I'm not going to go and like do something drastic to my
Yeah,
body or
yeah,
whatever. It's fine. I don't have anything against people that do. I'm just not going to do it.
yeah.
It's not my
It's a
priority.
choice, yeah.
It is. And so it's not my thing, but can I do a little bit of something? Does it take a lot of time? Honestly, my makeup takes like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fast. It's
yeah,
not a big deal. My hair, 5-10 minutes. It's not a big deal.
yeah,
So it's not like out of proportion. I think I would definitely spend a lot more time on working on my attitude,
yeah.
working on my heart,
Yes.
working on my perspective, all of that. Way more time on that
Yeah,
than the other part. It's just that, like, hey, could we look a little bit better? Yeah. Does it take a lot of effort all the time? No,
yeah,
but why not?
yeah,
Let's just make it, you
yeah,
know. And I mean, if you see me on Instagram, I'll get on there without makeup on.
yeah,
So I can also do that. But yeah, I think I definitely look better with. So
yeah,
let's just go with that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think there's that. First, take care of your heart,
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Take care of where your mind is at. What are you dwelling on? Where
yeah,
are your thoughts? All of that is, first of all, the most important thing.
yeah.
And it shouldn't be out of balance. I think that's the problem when it gets out of balance.
Agreed.
And then you're just pursuing all of these outer things
Yep.
without actually worrying about what's
Yeah,
inside.
so
And
good.
that's the issue.
And I think that's part of also remaining and staying the course, you know?
Totally.
You're balanced, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you're still enjoying all these things,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that you're having fun with
Yeah.
while you are taking care of what's
Right.
inside. So maybe let's end with this, you
Yeah.
know. What would you say to people, maybe even younger people who are starting out on this journey by themselves,
Yeah.
who are maybe within the churches or in the ministries, and they want to remain, they want to continue, they want to stay the course. Like, what would some advice be for them as they continue to do this, as they look towards, like, I want to stay the course, I want to do ministry, I want to remain where I'm at.
Right. Again, two things that come to mind right now. And one is just developing that relationship that you have with God personally.
Yeah.
Because it all comes down to that. All of it comes
Yeah.
down to that. And I mean, I remember things that God spoke to me when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. I can't 32 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago. I have a terrible memory about most things, but some of those things I remember.
Yes.
Why? Because actually it was very pivotal at that moment.
Yep.
But
Good.
you know what? Even now, as a 46-year-old, I can look back and like, wow, God, you were preparing me back then.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I had no clue what you had in store for me, but you were actually doing something in my heart when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a small thing. It was actually a big thing.
Yep.
And so to remember that even the things that God speaks right now,
Yeah.
if you're 12, if you're 14, if you're 18, 22, whatever,
Yeah.
pay attention
So
to
good.
those things that God says. And even if it seems like a small thing, just do it. Obey. Develop a lifestyle that like is open to him, speaking into your heart and life. I was thinking about this I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and thinking about how I was preparing a message about faith and how we need to have faith, right? And we see it sometimes as like an extra thing, like, oh, it's good if you have faith in God. But actually, when we can trust him and step out in faith with the things that he asks us to do, it is in our best interest to actually obey. It's not, God can do it with or without us.
True.
So it's actually in our best interest because he has the best plan. So if he has the best plan and he's showing me the way, it's the best thing for me.
Yeah.
For me to actually obey and to step out in faith in those different things.
Yep.
And so that starts not at a certain age. It starts whenever your relationship with God starts.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing, is just to pursue after him and not try to be lofty about like my future thing is, and no, just don't worry about that. Just worry about right now, today, what God's speaking, what he's doing, what he wants you to do right now. If you're in school, if you're working, if you're whatever you're doing, like let this be the place that I live my life now, not when I'm 35.
Yeah.
I'm going to live it now at 14, at 17, at whatever it is, you know? And so live that life that God's called you to right now, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
And then I would get around people that have stayed the course,
Yeah.
and they don't have to be ages older than you.
It's true.
I feel like those that are like 10 years ahead of you are perfect to, in a sense, follow.
Yeah.
Because they're not too far ahead where they feel ancient, maybe to you.
Yeah.
At 14, looking at me as a 46-year-old, you may be like, yeah, she's old. Like, I don't know. But if you think of someone that's like 24, 22,
Yeah.
26, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, they've done this.
Yeah.
They were in the same point in my life, not crazy long ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the
Yeah.
internet was still around. That's like things like that. Then actually it's great. It's not too far removed, but it's
Yeah.
also not so close where they have no perspective.
It's true.
When you are out a little bit further ahead, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so great. And you can ask questions. I was talking to someone else a couple weeks ago, and I said, I feel like in Singapore, people love to just observe and say nothing. Just observe, good or bad, just observe, right? But actually, you could take that a step further by asking questions.
It's true.
Just ask a question.
Yeah.
Even if you're scared, it's okay. Just ask a question.
Yeah.
How did you do blank?
Yeah.
How did you keep your God first in your studies? How did you keep God?
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. Like the questions you're asking, like daily decisions, like how do I do? Those are the questions that are going to give you insight and help into your life right now. And so I think that those two things, your first relationship with God, 100%, and get around those people that can help you and that have that perspective, that are going to be able to like encourage you. Don't be around people that are grumpy and they're like, yeah, no, you should quit. Don't. Those are not your friends.
No.
Do not surround yourself with people like that. Be around people that encourage and want you to go further and all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So good. Well, thank you so much. I mean, your wisdom and you've always shared these things with me. And, you know, I think those things have already kind of helped me, I think, in my own journey. And because you are that person for me, I think. I've always been able to ask you questions and, you know, come and talk to you about it. And so the richness of that, I'm so grateful for it. I'm also very confident many people hearing are going to be very inspired, very encouraged by what you've shared today. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm happy to.
Thank you.
Happy to.
Well, and thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope this conversation has helped you to live full.